Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for December 31st, 2018 through January 6th, 2019. So I welcome you to the new year as we say goodbye to the old. And it's always interesting when we kind of have these readings that land on sort of the transition of the new year. And so definitely there is a feeling of anticipation of the changes that are forthcoming. And it's a time where you're setting your sights on goals. And there is, what this energy brings is this feeling of wanting to take up and sort of take up your roots and sort of plant them somehow differently. And so there is a lot of information looming in the consciousness of everyone at this time. And so this is what they're calling, they're saying it's a golden opportunity. And for everyone collectively to participate in this energy of positive, pure changes. It's an energy of hope, and it's collectively drawn upon. And so they want you to kind of get this idea that there is this energy just available to you automatically because you all have been anticipating this form of transition, of hopes and full of optimism. So the energy at this time of the year is always available to you. Now they wrote the word grape, and the thought that comes to my mind is sort of I guess I want to say abundance, another form of it, a sweet, something that's really sweet, a sweet opportunity is what I think they meant by this. So this is the energy right now, this sort of golden opportunity, but this sweet opportunity. This is sort of there's a sweet opportunity that's available to us at this time of the year. We're just wired to let go of, everything that's happened. We're open to forgiveness. We're open to, they just wrote the word confess. So I feel like this is a good time. If there's something on your heart that's been burdening you, this is a good time because the love that is available to everyone, especially during the holiday seasons that precede, leading into the new year, everybody's hearts are really open. So this is a time to, if there's something you want to get off of your chest, or there's something you want to make right, or if there's something that you want to take a stand for, something you want to achieve, something that you want to sort of make others aware that this is something you need, or something that a new ambition that or something that you want, like, and just keep getting this feeling about, like, at your job, if you're looking for a promotion or to be given some more opportunities or more responsibilities. This is the golden opportunity, because it's that sweet opportunity, because everybody's in that, is channeling that optimism, that high frequency of hope, and hearts wide open. So if this makes any clear sense to you, it's also a time, because you are not as easily burdened, and you're allowing yourself to surrender to this optimism, that your intuition is at it has it's at its most clarity. Sorry, struggling for the vibrational words here, but the vibration is very specific, and it's something that comes from the universe, and it's an advanced communication. And when you try to understand this vibration with everything that you know, and you try to pinpoint it with the specifics of words based on your experiences, it can eclipse you. And the thing about vibration is just accepting the frequency, embracing. It's a frequency. The way to sort of connect with its message is to first open your heart to acceptance. That is to say, whatever it is that's trying to tell you, don't try to bring your mental knowledge, skills to this. Don't try to bring. I don't know if I'm getting this across, but it's you have to step into the unknown. You have to embrace. It's better to say that I don't know, to try not to bring any of your experience, and just embrace it, feel it, and let it speak to your heart. Let the love inside your heart open up the right words, but the words that fit just so. Okay, sort of old expression, but let the words be deposited in your heart. Don't let your mind try to come up with them. And so a lot of people get frustrated because they're like, I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me. And that frustration is coming because you want to you're looking for security and stability. You're looking for, and that can only come through what's familiar to you. And the universe is always bringing you into the unknown, bringing you beyond the limitations of the known. And so this vibration, this frequency of consciousness, this way of communicating is not to confuse you and perplex you and to, just, cause you to be frustrated, but it's to bring you out of the boundaries and the limits of the context that you've always known, and bring you into the unknown without any context. This is what this is where this faith is the bridge to this. And faith is willing to be blind, to willingly walk forward blindly into the next moment, into the next opportunity, and not needing to know, not needing to have all the answers, but accepting what is flowing inside of you and outside of you. This is what puts you right in the glove of that golden opportunity, in that sweet spot. I had a friend recently, and we were talking about this, and what really came about was that this is the moment where you really discover your truth. When you allow yourself to trust, this is where you find your truth in this sweet spot. We're just trying to find words to describe this unfamiliar place. And this leads to the establishment of authentic expression, true authentic expression. Because if you find yourself feeling like you just don't know who you are right now and where you are right now and where you're going, it means that you are free for the first time of all the limits that the past brings, because we use the past to help us to understand who we are. And I know that sounds foolish, but when you're becoming, and you can't be open to that becoming, that unfolding, then the past then somehow works against you. But it's not the past itself, but it's you are using it in a way that doesn't benefit you. The past has brought you here, but it's truly not meant to prohibit you or inhibit you from discovering where you're going. It brought you here. It was the going, but when you're in the moment, you have to always continue to look forward, to be going somewhere. And you don't want to always base that on what was familiar to you and the context of that, because you'll never be able to see what's better or what's next, you see. So it's really important to not be afraid when you find yourself in this place where you feel like you don't know anything anymore. And this means that you've surrendered, you emptied, and you're accepting something, and you're embracing something. And as you just have faith and you keep embracing, it will fall into your heart what it is that you are cultivating, what you are allowing. So let's sort of tune in here and just sort of get a sense of what's coming up for you in this week. And sometimes I get like a message for the year in these particular readings, but I'm not quite feeling that yet. And maybe because we're just going to be really in a place of profound new awareness and new changes. And this is maybe the message for this year, that we need to be settled in, or that we might settle in to not being in that familiar context, to not be sort of just cycling the same patterns. And so maybe in this year there's an opportunity for a huge break, a release from those cycles, those patterns. And you may find yourself struggling with that, but know that the struggle is a good sign, that you are, it's really that you're learning to let go, and you're learning to embrace who you truly are. And that's really where you can discover your authentic self, is by beginning to not know who you are, where you're going, and how it's going to flow. Because there you are, in that place, you're open to discovering those things and exploring things that maybe you wouldn't have explored before. So getting a sense of a deep sense of love coming from the angels, the universe, that is guiding you. And just know that even though you may feel like there's nothing happening, that there's a lot more happening. It's just that you don't recognize it because it is unidentifiable to your sight, to your I'm going to say this way, to your ego, which has a storehouse of a record of all kinds of memories. And that's how it usually sort of plays a role. It uses all of your memories like photographs. And what it does is that as you step into the new each day, it takes those photographs and kind of creates this collage. And when you see the collage, you go, oh yeah, I remember that. And then you remember that. You remember the present. You remember the opportunities. So it's like you always are seeing every new experience of your day, every conversation through your memories. And that's sort of like keeping you locked down. And it's coloring your perception. So, you may not see, you may see somebody, but that reminds you of somebody else from the past. And so now that person doesn't have a fair chance, just like it may not happen for you. And you're not giving that person the opportunity to show you who they are, because the ego is always judging. And so that's the big part of this, is that there is going to be some way, if you find yourself in this place, you're judging less. And that's the difference. That's the horror to your ego, and to you, who has always had that at your side, just feeding you information about your physical experiences. That judgment. And see, the only way that authentic expression could ever happen in the way we've described, is like not knowing and being in an unfamiliar context, is because less judgment is going on. And this is what it happens when we judge someone and we take things personally, is that judgment, the reason you're taking it personally, is because you're seeing it through those memories, those collage of memories, that your ego always has, utilizes all the files of memories in your mind, and every new thing that you see, experience, it just draws up a new collage and to help give you a context to understand it. And it thinks it's doing it to help you, but you're braver than this. And you're ready to no longer be codependent on your memories of the past to explain to you who you are today and and what the world is to you today. Isn't that beautiful? So and you can participate in this because you are a divine spirit, and you can recognize when you are doing this and try to step away. Now you can do step away the best you can. Okay, let's not even say the word try, but let's just say step away the best you know how. The best you know how in the moment. And that is like a mustard seed. It's going to do amazing things for you. It's going to create miracles in your life. And remember, miracles happen at any size, any quantity. It's really not something you can, with that prior knowledge, try to put into a category, a context, and say that's what miracles look like. So we're going to let that go too, because miracles happen all the time. And it doesn't matter the form it comes in, because it contributes to who you become. And sometimes we don't see those pieces, and we don't recognize they're miracles till a long time away from it. But when they're acknowledged, when they're realized, they just boost your frequency, and they change or rock the boat of your paradigm. And that rocking of the boat is what we then panic about when we have an aha, because ahas are miracles, and they rock the paradigm. And so this year you're going to be rocking your paradigm. Doesn't that really sound awesome? Like rocking the paradigm. So don't be afraid when you find that you're rocking your paradigm. And you're rocking your paradigm because you feel like you're on shaky ground. You don't know where the hell you are or who you are. But know that the foundation of love is always underneath you. Don't worry about the foundation of the physical world, the earth, or things, your life. Don't worry about that. Focus, just trust that the foundation of love is not rocking. It's not rocky, but it definitely is rocking. You know, it's rocking your life, and it's going to always do that. It's going to always create the best form of abundance, happiness, joy, peace, love that you deserve. All right, so let's take a look at the Archangel Oracle card for the week. And let's see which Archangel comes up in the message. All right. And I really feel like Archangel Metatron, who is the Archangel who is really in charge of the entire ascension process that we're going through from 2012 to 2032. And this is the reason why we're seeing a lot of upheaval, because this has never been done before in such a short span of time. We're going from third dimension to fifth dimension. So we're doing 2-dimensional shifts in this period of time. And so it's going to be rocking. The paradigm is rocking right now. That's what we're all been seeing, foreshadowing in the last couple of years. And we're going to see a lot more of this. And it's going to be awesome. It's not going to feel awesome to your ego, right? Because if you try to understand what's happening right now in the context of those memories, it's going to look like everything is going to hell in a handbasket. But if you look at it and surrender, just surrender to the energy, surrender to the change, the paradigm shift, and the vibration that is coming to you in downloads, then you'll find that this is quite awesome, because it's sort of the same energy like when, and let's just say like this is what comes up to me, like when we were in school and all of a sudden the fire alarm goes off, and it's like it always felt like a moment of freedom from the routine. Anytime something kind of just threw the whole routine of the school off, and it felt like you were free. I remember those special days, just something just happens. And I'm using the fire alarm because we never knew when it was coming. We knew it wasn't a real fire, although it can be a real situation, but that it just gave us this feeling to like we were free from our routine, that whatever we were doing in the moment, that we didn't have to continue doing that. We just got to get out of our seats, get outside, which was always a great thing. I know this is not a great example, but just it's the feeling that I'm really drawing your attention to, and that's sort of like what this is going to feel like. It's going to rock your paradigm. It's going to throw things off. And some physical things may be thrown off in terms of the planet, but you get an opportunity to land where you want. The bubble gets broken. You get to think a little bit differently, because it's okay in that moment where things are collapsing to do something different that you wouldn't have done, because, and I'm sorry that I'm using these analogies, but it's what's coming up in terms of the feeling I'm trying to get to. I'm not trying to, predict that these things are going to happen, literally. But, I remember when I was here and during 9/11, and, or when we had the blackout and in the city, and it just made people feel like they could do things differently, and everybody embraced each other with love or support, things that we just wouldn't have broken our schedules. We just feel like we have to get these things done. We have all responsibilities, and we just don't think we have permission to do these things, to be this way normally. And it's just sort of that same feeling. If you don't fight it, you will see that this is giving you an opportunity to do something the way that you would have always wanted to do it. Okay, so let me move on here. But the priority of your goals, you're going to find your spiritual priorities. You're going to connect with the priorities of your soul and come through. And that's part of that authentic expression. So don't worry, don't try to find and figure it out, because it's already inside of you. And that's part of the reason why we find like it's so difficult to find our purpose, because you can't find what has already been found. And the universe and your higher self and your soul has already found your purpose. It knows it. It's known it though for many lifetimes. And the only thing that's keeping you from knowing it is the idea that there is a seeking of it. And so what you're really getting from the universe, law of attraction, is more seeking, until you embrace that there's nothing to seek, and you embrace what is inside of you, what is flowing through you already. And it is where happiness resides. It is where your passion resides. And the only reason that you aren't able to identify is because you are spending a lot of energy questioning. And questioning is a vibration, and it will only attract more questions, not an answer. So that's what breakthroughs are for. You have to let it go, the question, the seeking, in order for the channel of information to fall through. When you let go, breakthrough, new information, new pattern. You don't get from the problem and you move directly without breaking the line into the solution. The line breaks because these two energies have nothing to do with each other. They're separate. They're operating on their own bandwidth. Problem solution. And it's when you break that you jump to the other bandwidth. As in the release, it just shoots you up like if there was if there's a current of air or from the bottom blowing up always. And we choose a bandwidth and then we hold it. And when we we let go of it, we just shoot right up. But how far up we shoot is dependent on how much of a need we have to latch on to the very next thing that comes up. And so that latching will depend on do we go, I need my memories, I need familiarity, I need to feel safe, instead of let me just go with this free fall, or it's really free up, but falling up in this case. But okay, so the card that sort of starts the energy of the week off is this feeling that you can do anything, that you're ready. And I really feel like the Magician card here is saying that you are ready, you have tools, you have more instinct about the elements as you release everything you think you knew. It's interesting because there are these four elements that you usually see with the physical signs, and it's going to be hard to see here because they're kind of in this white light, the cup, the sword, etc. But it's just like in music, there are 8 notes, or technically 11 chromatic notes. But out of those 11 has millions of songs have been written. And it's the same thing. The elements of the universe haven't changed, but how you apply them, how your heart applies them. And so if you're stuck, it's because you just can't figure it out in your mind any longer. But if you let your heart apply them, your heart will find that new way. It'll find that new paradigm. But you're ready for it. And this card is signaling for you to go for it, to trust your instincts, that you have really good instincts. This is telling you that you're innovative, that you're intelligent, that you have really great talent and skill. And it's about now just playing around and experimenting. Don't be afraid to get into the lab of your life and just explore. You can turn your life into a lab by exploring more, by experimenting, trusting your intuition, going with your instinct. Go for it. That's what it means to go for it. Go with your instinct more. Okay? Let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Okay, and this is saying that in the middle of the week, you're going to feel like sometimes that you are waiting, and it's going to feel like you have this rush, this desire, but there's something you have to wait on. Okay, but know that this is a part of the rhythm of life. That know that waiting is also a ripe opportunity. Know that the not having it all figured out, not being able to recognize, because I always think about this card too, this illustration, that he doesn't even recognize what he's sitting on. But there's a reason behind that. There's a ripe opportunity in that. Not always knowing what you got. That discovering what you got and developing the appreciation when you realize what you have, that's huge too. That's a huge reward that's a huge rewarding experience to the soul. To the soul's enlightenment, because that's a miracle when you go, aha, when you see finally. It doesn't matter that you didn't see it all along, but what matters is when you do see it. And that's when you recognize that it matters when you do see it. That's what helps you to live more in the present. That's what helps you to feel like you're rocking the paradigm. Okay? All right, let me just tune in and see if there's any additional information. I'm just seeing a heart, and what this is really sort of telling me is that to trust your heart. Your heart is protecting you at all times, and that doesn't mean from something, but that your heart is keeping you. It's keeping your life, is keeping your desires. Your heart is holding. This is the form of protection. It's holding the context of truth for you, even if you don't see it, even if you feel like you're not living it. It's holding it. They're writing, it can't be erased. So if it can't be erased, then what you need to do is sit back and relax. Stop worrying that something can take away from you the joys of your heart. My mother used to always sing that spiritual or old song from the church, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away. And it's something I've never forgotten. This joy that you have, and this is a spiritual joy, but in this context of this spiritual joy, right in the heart of it, is your deepest desires. And they cannot be erased because your soul is not flaky. The light of your truth is not flaky. And it will hold it against any illusion that you conjure. It will hold it, and it will create the balance. Because it's holding it, the balance that's created will never be as horrible as you could ever imagine it when you feel defeated and unsafe and you don't feel like you're any good anymore or worth anything. Well, it's just too darn bad that truth just will not diminish. And so therefore, you will always be held higher than you think you can fall. So you may be able to look down at how far you may fall, but you'll never taste it, because there's a balance in the universe, and it's in the heart of your soul, and it holds the truth. It holds the vibration and the frequency of that truth. It holds the authentic desires of that truth. And it's never going to let it go. Never. So that's why you're protected. And it's your heart. This is the way that your heart protects you. So don't look for protection from something. Know that you are already protected by the heart of your soul. All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. And we have the 10 of Summer, which is the 10 of Cups. And this is a card of fulfillment on the heart level, on the feeling, emotional level. This feeling that you have all the good in life. And somehow, as you start to take action on the things that inspire you, don't spend energy trying to figure out what needs to happen next, or what's right and what's wrong. Instead of worrying, because that's what all that is, and we talked about this recently, just put down in your calendar, plan when what you are inspired to do, and put down a time in your calendar to do it. Because otherwise, you'll just fuss in your head about it, and you'll never do that step. Put it in your calendar. Even if you don't feel like you're ready, and that scares you, just put down in your calendar you're going to spend time, brainstorming about what that's going to look like if you did it. Now your mind can't worry about it, and your heart's going to be free of it. And when your reminder on your smartphone kicks that up for you to do that, to do what we just said, you're going to probably feel a lot better about it, because you didn't give any momentum to worrying about it, which is what usually pushes you in another direction, but doesn't erase it in your soul's desire, in the heart of your soul. Do you get that? So this is a really important tool about using those smartphone calendars, or whatever you have. When you're worried, put it down with a date and a time to handle it, whether you're going to take real action on it. Well, all action is real action, so let's scrap that. Sorry, vibration, not good for that. But any kind of action you are ready to put towards that is action, healthy, because the whole idea is this calendar thing makes you feel all of a sudden accomplished, and gets you in a cycle of facing what you want. Because by doing that, you're saying you're worthy. You're not going to feel as unworthy when you do perform these actions. All right, let's take a look at the card I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck. And this is, again, the priority thing, right? So we're learning how to just to focus on our priorities, which is something that we do at this time of the year. So this is all appropriate, what's been said so far. Now, this is an interesting card. This is the 8 of Swords. And this is a card that, you feel like you're stuck, okay? So, and this is sort of the undercurrent. So in this week, this is the thing that also, so this is very appropriate, this card, and take it the right way, because this, all that hope and aspirations, well, what's underneath it, because our ego is always contrasting your higher self, but what's great about this time of the year is the higher self reigns. So your lower self is saying, I'm trapped by the idea of doing these things. Okay, so just be aware of that. And the way you're going to work through this is the process we talked about. Put it in the calendar, and I guarantee you're not going to feel trapped as you would normally feel. Don't leave this stuff in your head. Don't leave it in your mind, so your mind can play games with it. Kick it back and forth. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and I thank you for joining us this week. And if you're looking for an angel reading, You can contact me at theangelschool.com, which you'll find in the description link below. If you haven't been to our Facebook page, the daily card messages will start after the first, which you can find on the link below and on my Twitter page. Everyone, have a beautiful and glorious first week of the year. God bless you all.